Hello, hey guys. I am going for a little walk and I thought I'd do a little live video to talk about the last post that I shared. I don't think anyone's on, so I'll just wait a little. I always feel really self-conscious when I'm walking down my street because I feel like people are wondering what I'm doing. So yeah, I just shared a post about resources for stress and anxiety, and I wanted to talk about some of the differences between stress and anxiety. I think a lot of the time that people use some of the words, and I guess they can be interchangeable depending on what part you're talking about. Hello, Mom. Sorry, I'm crossing the street. You gotta be safe and look both ways so I don't get run over. So there's quite a difference when it comes to stress and anxiety. What it actually means to your body, but a lot of the things that it does to your body are the same. So I'll explain that. So basically, stress is, if you want to look at them separately, stress is itself. Hello. Let me know if you guys can't hear me or anything like that, okay? Or if it gets too loud out here. So stress itself is going to be the event. So stress is what causes your body to react. Anxiety is a type of reaction that your body has. And so a person can have a whole lot of stress on their body, or a person can have a very small amount of stress. Some people experience a small amount of anxiety when they're in stressful situations. Some people experience a lot of anxiety. And both of those are different from somebody who has an anxiety disorder. So, for example, I have an anxiety disorder. Hello. And so I experience anxiety in an abnormal way compared to somebody who's just experiencing anxiety because they're just nervous. So, and hey guys, I'm talking about the difference between stress and anxiety. And I just shared a post with resources. And so if you were to click on there, you can click on each individual one and kind of learn a little bit more in depth. But I just wanted to get into some of the differences between them. The biggest difference being that stress is the event itself. Anxiety is just a reaction to stress. Or you can react with anxiety without stress, but you still have a trigger that causes the anxiety. Usually with stress, you call them stressors, are the same as like a trigger. So you might hear those two terms kind of interchanged. And you got to understand what's happening with your body at the time of stress. So there's you have your sympathetic nervous system, and that's how your body reacts to stress. So whenever your body's designed to react to save itself. So, for example, I'm walking down the street. If I saw a lion, obviously, first of all, that'd be really weird. I'd freak out. So my body would react in a way that it's stressed out. So it would, my nervous system would just, react out of nowhere. I would get, obviously, sweaty hands. My heartbeat would speed up. Hello. First of all, any indication of hunger would go away. I wouldn't need to use the restroom. Obviously, I'd be scared. So I'd be deciding whether or not to fight or flight. So that means I would either run or I would freeze. Knowing me, I'd probably freeze. But that's kind of how your body responds whenever it meets some sort of big stressful event. Now, the problem is that we're no longer living in worlds where lions are coming up to us or where we need to be scared for our lives every moment. And our body still reacts to stress the same way, whether our stress is just a car honk, or anything our alarm went off and we're late, so we get up and our body thinks that it's in danger, so it's going to react just like if it's in danger. So we're actually really, really well equipped to handle this stress. So our body is, it does what it's supposed to do. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. So stress doesn't have to be a bad thing. Hi, Jesus. Stress doesn't have to be a bad thing in your life. because most of the time stress is an indication that your body is working properly, and it helps you to do things. It helps you get things done. You know, a small amount of stress gives your body just enough of a push to get stuff done. When you're experiencing too much stress, or stress that's coming too often, then your body doesn't get that chance to kind of calm down. That's when stress can be bad for you. So the way your body calms down is it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, and usually when that happens, your heartbeat slows down, your digestion starts up again, you're able to start breathing again. You'll notice that all of a sudden you can go to the bathroom again. Things like that just made me think of, it's funny. So like if you've ever, I was just watching a video and the guy was talking about how he would be super, super nervous up until the time that he needed to actually, so he would be really nervous to get to like an interview. And once he got to the interview, then he needed to use the bathroom. That's because he'd be nervous to get there. The moment that you get a chance to calm down, your body's like, I gotta go. So you may notice that too if you're having like anxiety over tests or stuff like that. Hello, Fonts. If you're all of a sudden, the moment you get to calm down, your body reacts like it's calm. All of a sudden, you're hungry now. Now you're thirsty. You know, your body just goes back to its regular, whatever it was expecting to do before the stress kicked in. But what happens is if you're experiencing too much stress too often and you're not having that moment for your body to calm down, you're putting way too much pressure on your body. That's when you start to see some of the negative effects of stress. So you may start having trouble with sleeping. You may have immune reactions, so you start getting sick more often. You're going to feel stressed out. And this is where you start to feel anxiety. So a lot of the time, anxiety either happens because you have a reason, like you're nervous to give a speech, you're nervous to get on a live video, you're nervous, I don't know, there's just reasons to be nervous, right? But that's normal because it's a normal reaction to life. Some people experience anxiety a little bit too often though, and it can be because of small events, or it can be because you've been experiencing stress for a long period of time. And anxiety gives you all the same kind of symptoms, but can also lead to acute anxiety, which is panic attacks, which is what I have. And they get in the way of life. So I think that's kind of the problem. So again, the difference between the stress and the anxiety would be that the anxiety, you have to attack the symptoms. You have to actually working through those problems like the panic attacks. With stress, you can attack the stressor, the thing that's causing the stress. So if you're stressed out because you're having poor time management skills and you're always late and you got a lot going on, then you can work on your time management skills to change that pattern so that you have time to de-stress throughout the day. If you're super anxious because of, you just have a stressing lifestyle and you can't make those changes, then if you're starting to feel anxiety more and more often, you have to do things that will help you with getting your body to react against the stress every so often. And so things like breathing techniques help. If you're having panic attacks, grounding techniques help. There's actually a lot, so I put them all on the list on the post that I share. And so for example, with breathing, what breathing does is it actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So a lot of the times, and I'm sorry, I don't know why the camera's all blurry. There. So a lot of the time, breathing is like the technique that's, I think maybe overly advised for people and not advised in the best way. Now I'm all dark. What the hell? So a lot of the times when somebody says, oh, I'm feeling stressed out or I'm feeling anxious, people will say, well, you just need to breathe. They mean well. So it's not the response that you want in the moment. And so sometimes you don't want to do it because you're like, I'm breathing. Like, what do you mean breathe? And it's easy for you to kind of dismiss it as something that just doesn't work. But breathing actually is a huge, it's one of the things that helps the most when it comes to getting through a stressful event or a panic attack. What breathing does is it tells your body the stress is gone. Whatever's causing this, it's stopped. Breathe. Re-normalize your breathing patterns. Reactivate your digestive system. Stop the stress. Stop pushing adrenaline into your body. And it gives your body that little bit of rest. So what happens is, let's say it's finals week and you're really, I keep talking about school things because I'm at the college. But so let's say it's finals week, and so you're super stressed out. You really don't have time to just, to stop and not do what you need to do. Taking 30 seconds to breathe gives your body a chance to let go of that stress response. To just be like, okay, I'm not dying, so I don't need to respond like I'm dying. Doing this several times a day, and I recommend trying to do it at least 3 times a day, even if you're not stressed out. Because it teaches your body that the way it reacted to whatever the stressor was not the correct way, because it's not killing you. And so slowly, next time that same stressor comes up, your body's like, wait, I didn't die last time. I don't need to react like I'm gonna die. Okay? And then your body learns how to not have that same reaction again. So yes, in the moment, breathing may not feel like it's that big of a deal, like it's gonna help you. You may still feel panicky, you may still feel stressed out, but it's what it does in the long term. It helps your body react properly. Grounding techniques work really well for panic attacks themselves. And again, it's taking a moment to stop and be like, okay, what's happening right now? And realizing that you're not dying. And there's, I put like 3 resources on how to do grounding techniques in my post. So make sure you check that out, because there's like the basic ones. There's like the ones that like research tells you do this, this, and this, and it gives you steps. And then there's like an article that had like 20 something ways that you can do it, because I think the problem with sometimes with advice that you get from like researchers or doctors is that they forget that you're not always at home when these things happen. You're not always like alone in a room that no one's looking at you. Sometimes you're in the middle of the street, sometimes you're in front of your classmates, sometimes you're with family, and you can't do some of the things that you need to do in order to calm yourself down. So sometimes you need creative ideas, and that's where blogs come in, and people come up with ideas of what works for them, and they share them, and you can do that. So I think it's good to just read them all and try them out. And sometimes just having that information there helps you in the moment. Same goes with tips on how to handle stress in your life. Obviously, there's a lot of things you can do that you should be doing that are going to help you, like time management and making sure that you're eating healthy and you're exercising and you're sleeping right and you're drinking water and, the things that we should be doing. But in the moment, maybe what you need is to put your homework aside and just, watch TV. Now, that's not the healthiest coping method, but it may help in the short term. And sometimes what we need is somebody to tell us what's not the healthy way to cope. So, like not picking up a cigarette, not going out for drinks, or calling up a friend instead of, doing drugs. I don't know. I live in Colorado, so everybody smokes weed. But there's a lot of stuff that tells you that it doesn't help you. So I won't get started on that. But sometimes you just need that information. So that's why I made the list. I talk to a lot of people, and sometimes I find different articles or sites that explain the information or the technique that I'm trying to get across without it being just coming from me. So I can share a lot of tips with people. I can share a lot of stuff with you guys. But a lot of times you guys want to see it from somebody else's perspective, or you need somebody else to explain it in a different way. So that's what I did. My post is full of articles and blogs. So some of them are from like the American Psychological Association or the NIMH or things like that. And some of them are from just regular sites, people who just, like me, who just share information. Crossing the street again. So yeah, just wanted to go over a little bit of those differences, because I think people, I don't know, like, it's words that are used all the time, but it's not words that are defined all the time. You know, everyone says, oh, I'm super stressed out. But sometimes what they mean is, you know, I'm overworked, or I'm, you know, struggling with family issues. And when you can pinpoint, you know, what is causing the stress, you can deal with it. If you just use the word stress, you may feel like it's inevitable to continue in that moment. And I did also add to the post a link to the suicide hotline, because sometimes people click on these posts to get the help that they need. Like, they really need in that moment to talk to somebody who's going to help them through something that's a lot more hard than just stress. So I added that link on there, so if you guys want to share that, I would really appreciate it. And I am still walking around my neighborhood, but I think I'm going to finish this up because it's getting long. I will add this to my YouTube account. I'm making like a whole little playlist of just the lives that I do, because that way I can, you know, if you have a question, I could just kind of point you towards that. But please go and check out my post. I made a bit.ly short link for it. It's bit.ly stress anxiety resources, just like that, all lowercase. So go and check it out, and if you could do me a favor of liking it and sharing it with people, I would really appreciate that. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.